Okay, so let's see how this app works. So first of all, the most important thing that we need to do is read the question again and highlight the important parts. This question actually asks, it's actually two questions in one. It asks how much wallpaper will we need and how much paint will we need. And there's two different, there's a whole bunch of important information that we need to figure them out. So the first one we're going to figure out is the amount of wallpaper. All right, so Larry pastes wallpaper on 3 walls of his bedroom. He paints the 4th wall, which is one of the smaller walls, but that's the second question. The dimensions of the room are a width of 5 meters, a length of 6 meters, and a height of 3 meters, and there are no windows. And the fact that there are no windows actually makes this problem a little bit simpler. But what we need to do, and what I highly recommend that you do for all measurement questions, if possible, is to draw a diagram. So we have our room. This is our room. Sorry for my artistry. I'm just getting used to this pen, and as most of you know, I'm not an artist anyway. But what we need, now we need to fill in what we do know. So we do know that the wall has a length of 6 meters. So we'll label that side the length. We have a width of 5 meters. So we'll call this the width. And we have a height of 3 meters. So now what we need to do is we need to find, and we know that he's covering the 2 large walls and one of the small walls with wallpaper. So first thing we need to do is we need to figure out the dimensions of each of the large walls. So if we look at the dimensions of the large walls, so we need to find the area of it. So it would be 6 meters times 3 meters. Okay, so 6 meters times 3 meters equals 18 meters squared. And we know that there's 2 18 meters squared walls. Those are the large walls. Those are the large walls. So there's 2 of the walls are 18 meters squared, and then we have to find the area of the smallest wall, which, if you were to look at the dimensions, it's the 5 by 3. So we'll just highlight it here. That's the small wall that we're talking about, or one of the small walls that we're talking about. So then what we need to do is we need to do the 5 meters times 3 meters equals 15 meters squared. So now what we have to do is we have to add up the 18, and the 15, and that gives us a total of 51 meters squared that we need to cover in wallpaper. So if we cover all that in wallpaper, it's set. We have to go back to the question to see what was the important information here. So it says that a roll of wallpaper covers 5 meters squared. So basically you have to divide 51 by 5, and that is 10 point something, okay? So you need 10 full rolls and a part of another roll. But unfortunately, when you go to Home Depot or Rona or wherever you buy your home improvement supplies, they're not going to sell you just part of a roll, so you have to buy another whole roll. So you need 10 whole rolls, and then a part of another roll. So unfortunately, you're going to have to buy a whole another roll. So 10 rolls plus 1 roll equals 11 rolls of wallpaper. So that's the answer to the first question. Now, how we get the answer to the second question, which is how many cans of paint do we need? We need to once again go to the highlighter and highlight the question, the important information. So what we see here is a 4-liter can of paint covers about 40 meters squared. So we got to figure out the total amount of paint that we need and then divide that number. So what we do is it says here he paints the fourth wall, which is one of the smaller walls, with 2 coats of paint. That's important because we got to take our answer then and multiply it by 2, which some students in the past have not read correctly. So we got to find the area of the small wall. And if we said before the area of the small wall was 5 by 3, so 5 meters times 3 meters equals 15 meters squared. So to do 1 coat of paint on it, 1 4-liter of can covers 40 meters squared. And we can see this number is under 40, so far we only need 1 can. However, you need to multiply this 15 by 2 because we want 2 coats of paint. So that is 30 meters squared of total surface area of paint that we need to cover. And that still means that because the 4-liter can of paint covers 40 meters squared, it's 30 meters squared is under 40 meters, so we only need 1 can of paint. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you. Okay, so let's try and tackle this question here. So the first thing we're going to do is highlight the important parts of the question. So a box of cereal is 500 grams. The dimensions of the box are a length of 20 centimeters, a width of 10 centimeters, and a height of 20 centimeters. What is the minimum size a container is to be if it is to hold 1 ton of cereal? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out how many 500 grams of cereal can we fit into 1 ton. So if you remember your conversions, 1 ton equals 1 million grams. So if we want to figure out how many boxes of cereal this 1 ton container can hold, we know that it's 500. So one box is 500 grams. So if I divide 1 million divided it by 500 grams, we know that this equals 2,000 boxes of cereal. So we know how many boxes that how many boxes of cereal are going to fit into this 1 ton container, but we still don't know how big the container is going to be. And to do that, we have to figure out how many boxes, how much space is 2,000 boxes of cereal going to take up. Okay, so now we go to our dimensions. So we're going to figure out how many the dimensions. We know the dimensions of 1 box is a length of 20 centimeters, a width of 10 centimeters, and a height of 20 centimeters. So if we multiply all the length of 20 centimeters times the width of 10 centimeters times a height of 20 centimeters, we know that this equals 4,000 cubic centimeters. So we know that 1 box is going to be 4,000 cubic centimeters. So if 1 box is 4,000 cubic centimeters, and we need 2,000 of these boxes, then we can start figuring out our answer. So we've got 4,000 centimeters per box, cubic centimeters per box, times 2,000 boxes equals 8 million centimeters cubed. Or, if we convert that into meters, that is 8 meters cubed. Excuse me. So, if we know that the size of the container is going to be 8 meters cubed, basically what we need to do is we need to find the length, the width, and the height of the container. And so basically we just got to find three numbers that when we multiply them together give us 8. So one example, there's a couple right answers to this question. One answer is a container that has a length of 2 meters by a width of 2 meters by a height of 2 meters. Excuse me. So 2 meters times 2 meters times 2 meters gives us 8 meters cubed. So one answer to this question is a box that is a container that is 2 by 2 by 2. Alternatively, they could be a 8 by 1 by 1. There's a couple different answers that you get to this, but the most common answer that I get is to get 8 meters cubed, I multiply 2 times 2 times 2 to give us 8 meters cubed. So the container must be a 2 by 2 by 2.